All right. Um, so I'm going to play around a little bit with Cashier. I am not super comfortable with Laravel. I'm excited about it. There's a lot of cool stuff in the Laravel community, a lot of really cool things coming out for Laravel. I've been chatting with a couple of users who are just setting up Laravel integrations, and I'm a big fan of the Laravel Cashier team, and so I wanted to just like play around with Cashier, play around with Laravel, and see how things feel. And then also maybe try to get the new Stripe subscription create flow set up with like the Laravel like registration. So it's my understanding that Laravel comes sort of batteries included with user authentication and some of the stuff that there's been a lot of stuff recently about like Jetstream and Forge and like a whole bunch of other cool things that I've been hearing about. So I want to test them out and play around. Yeah, hopefully if anyone is online who is a fan of Laravel or is good at Laravel, please come to my rescue and let me know if you have any tips or tricks. So we're going to like literally just start at the top level in Laravel and walk through just kind of like getting set up. So it looks like I need this thing maybe, which is going to globally install some sort of installer situation. I might already have this installed, but it's been a long time since I played around with Laravel. So we're just going to start from square one here. And then and then we'll play around with Cashier. So I'm hopeful that Dries has some good docs. So we'll play around and see what's up. So I am going to once this installer is installed, it looks like I can say like Laravel new blog. I'm going to say Laravel new SaaS. Laravel new SaaS. Oh, not found. Okay, so I need to do something with my bin. Yeah, so I'm just gonna like export this. Let's see, path equals path plus that thing. Is this gonna work? I don't know. Let's see. Nope. PHP, no such file or directory. Env. Huh. All right. Let's see. Bash profile. What is this? All right, let's see. So I'm gonna do some secret stuff so you can look at my face while I'm thinking about what I'm doing. ZSHRC. What? Command not found Vim. Oh no, I totally broke things. All right. Let's see. Okay. Where am I managing my path? Am I doing that in my bash RC? I don't remember if I have secret stuff in here, so I'm just going to try to like edit really quickly, and we will be back in a moment. Right. So path equals that thingy and then that other thingy. All right. So path equals $path plus this thing that I'm getting from the docs there. Let's see. Laravel new. Let's see if this works. Laravel new SaaS. Hey, that's a cool like infographic thing. Cool. All right. So we are what is this? You're using outdated version of Composer. Composer 2 is about to be released. All right. I'm gonna get this warning like all the time now, huh? Oh, that's all right. All right, so we've got our thing via Laravel installer, Laravel new. You want to create a Laravel project with login and registration. Check out Laravel Jetstream. Yeah, this is the thing I was talking about is like Jetstream, using Jetstream's authentication stuff. So how do I get it? Want to create a, okay, yes, check it out. Okay, sure. Composer create, okay. Alternatively, I think it's a different way to set it up. PHP artisan serve. Let's see if that does anything. Okay, it's still installing dependencies. Let's see. Okay. So what else we've got here? Pretty URLs, Nginx, Homestead, Valet. I know Valet does a bunch of fancy things for you. All these requirements are satisfied by Laravel Homestead Virtual Machine. Okay. So there's like all these terms in Laravel that I need to like learn, like valet and homestead and cashier and Jetstream and all this stuff. So it is a bit much to know. Like I wish there was kind of just like a high level thing that told you like generally this is how you get what all these different names mean. But that's okay. All right, so we've got the installer, we change our thing, we've got this. Now we should be able to say, okay, we're still installing dependencies. This is very similar to Rails. When you Rails new a project, it installs a bunch of gems, and if you don't have any of those gems locally, then when you first bundle install, or actually I guess Rails new does install them for you, but when you get started, it installs a whole bunch of dependencies just like this. So yeah, totally expected. All right, configuration. After installing Laravel, you got to like, there's an index.php. That is the front controller. Interesting. And then you have all these config files. Okay, you've got directory permissions, application key. Next thing you should do after installing Laravel is set your app key to a random string. All right, we can do that. PHP artisan serve. Could not open the input file artisan. Oh, because I'm not in here. PHP artisan serve. Cool. That was like pretty easy, right? We just like Laravel new to thing and then, okay, cool. So what is the next step? It says the next step is to PHP artisan key generate. So I'm going to kill the server and do that. Additional config. Laravel almost needs almost no other config. You're free to get started. Okay, however, you might want to go over here and set the time zone, locale. I don't care about that. You may also want to configure things like the cache, database, and session. We might need to come back and set the database, but whatever. All right, so we're going to keep going. Directory configuration, pretty URLs. I don't know about, oh gosh, I hate Apache and Nginx, and I just want someone else to deploy it and deal with that stuff for me. All right, so let's go to the basics. Routing. How does routing work in Laravel? Okay, so we've got the most basic route is a URI, foo, and a closure. That's the function that we're passing in as sort of the callback, providing a very simple expression. Okay, and then you can also, looks like you can also pass in like a string route and then a controller, which has the class and then probably presumably the method on the class that you call, and get, post, put, patch, delete options. Cool. So it does a bunch of stuff. It has CSRF protection with the @CSRF. What do they call these? Directive, I guess, like a form, or like maybe it's like a form helper or something. We've got redirecting. Here's some views. A view route. If your route only needs to return a view, you can use a route view method. Okay, so like a shortcut. In Rails, we have to like create a controller, and that controller method would have a view that returns that. So very cool. Also, I'm drinking the most delicious peach tea. It is like the Country Time peach. I really like it. Let's see, Country Time peach tea. It's so good. It is, no, it's not any of these. It's like, it has like a bear on the picture. Country Time peach tea, hot, sleepy time, sleepy time. Okay, here we go. Yes, the Celestial Country Peach. If you are a fan of peach tea, this is a great one. I like it. I don't know. $2. $2. It's very good, but I usually heat the water to 160 degrees, and I did 175 today, and my tongue is already like burnt a couple times. All right, moving on. So let's say we've got our routing and all of our stuff set up. How do we get like authentication working? Okay. It makes authentication very simple. Almost everything is here. The authentication configuration is here. Let's see if we can find that. Config auth. Wow, super simple. All right, we've got all this stuff, guards, passwords, password timeouts. At its core, it uses guards and providers. Guards define how, okay, cool. Want to get started fast? Install Laravel Jetstream in a fresh Laravel application. After migrating your database, navigate to /register. So how do I install this thing? Installation, installing Jetstream. Laravel new. Oh gosh, I need dash dash jet. All right. Well, it looks like I missed the boat there. Like if I knew that earlier, then I could have just like skipped over. If I could have just done like dash dash jet. Like it seems like you would always want that, right? Like, and it's also my understanding that Jetstream sort of gives you the same stuff or like similar stuff to as like devise in Rails. I might be totally off base and incorrect there, but if that is how it works, then cool. Also, it looks like, yeah, so Livewire and Inertia are also these really cool things that help you do like, it's my understanding you like server side render these front end frameworks, and then you can just like interact with them as if you were building like a full stack server rendered application. All right, so now we've got this installed with Composer. If you choose to install with Composer, you should run this thing, PHP artisan Jetstream install. Missing stack. Okay. Install with Livewire or install with Inertia. I don't want team support. I don't care about team support. So which one do we want? Livewire or Inertia? Livewire, building, okay, blah, blah, blah. Vue and React, okay. Okay, Laravel stuff, Livewire. What the heck? How the heck does this work? Livewire renders the initial component output page with the blade. Okay. When interaction occurs, Livewire makes an AJAX request to the server to update data. I think these are like the same thing, right? Inertia and Livewire seem the same. Are those the same? We should tweet about it. Are Livewire and Inertia? Wow, look at that. Coffee Mate is like hearing that I'm drinking tea and wants to let me put some creamer in that tea. All right, let's try out Inertia. Inertia sounds super cool, and also Inertia works with Rails, and so I'm curious and want to learn how to work with Inertia. So let's do that one. All right, finalizing the installation. After initializing Jetstream, you should install the stuff with npm. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy all this. Thanks. All right, this is cool. How is everyone doing? Please leave a comment and tell me what you're building. Would love to hear what you're building. Cool. Yeah, also, if you are on Periscope, I see folks on Periscope watching. Welcome. Okay, let's see. Inertia, JS, Laravel. This is all like the fancy, cool new stuff. When I was writing PHP in like 2005, which I did for like a month, I did not like it very much. And it seems like it fell out of favor. And a lot of people were like, oh, Ruby's the cool new thing. And so I started learning Ruby. Well, okay, so I did like classic ASP, and then I did PHP, and I built one project for like one client with PHP. It was like a work order tracking system in 2005. And then after that, I switched to like ASP.NET Web Forms, and I did ASP.NET Web Forms for many years, and I really liked that. And then I went backwards and did like VB6 for a bit. And then I went back to ASP.NET and eventually found and fell in love with Ruby. Yeah, really hadn't given PHP very much of a look until very recently when I started working at Stripe. And now that I'm at Stripe and watching all the cool stuff that's happening with PHP, I'm pretty pumped about the prospects for Laravel, and the whole Laravel community is just like booming right now. And so I'm excited to get back into it. I think Laravel in particular, having built something similar to Rails, but like with a lot of other cool, shiny, new, awesome things, has made it so that, yeah, I think folks are getting back into PHP for sure. All right, what is this? Is this an error? connection refused. SQL select table information. Do I need to like migrate to create the database? PHP artisan, Laravel, PHP artisan create database. Is there a thing? What is the command here? PHP artisan. Also, yeah, okay. So I've got Postgres running. Do I need to like configure that? Getting started, configuration. I like glazed right over the whole database situation here. So let's see if we can figure out what's up with that. Okay, database, boom. Getting started, boom. Nice organization, folks. So touch database SQLite, that'll work. And then we, okay. You can easily configure environment variables to point to this thing. Sure. Is that done in here? I think it probably is, right? DB connection. I'm going to comment these out and then paste these. Actually, it says absolute path to database. Okay, so let's see. This is my absolute path. Database / database.sqlite. Okay. Database SQLite. All right, and then what do we do? To enable foreign keys for SQLite. I mean, why would you not want foreign keys, right? Foreign keys are so fun. Foreign keys. All right. So then what do we do? Configuration, blah, 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 read and write, blah, 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 sticky. Okay. Skip. Okay, so PHP artisan migrate. Does this work now? Hey, look at that. Sweet. Okay, so create a bunch of tables. Super cool. How do I find what migrations is doing? Create user table. Oh, so in migrations, yeah, very similar to Rails, right? Schema create users, and you tell it like the type of the column and the, okay, this is great. Okay. All right, so now we've got this thing running, right? PHP, let's see, CD sass, PHP artisan serve. All right, so Laravel is running here, and look at that. We've got login and register at the top. Okay, very cool. We've got, nice. All right, so if we have the login and we've got our register page. All right, siege, jenny.rosen@example.com. Password is Jenny. Register. Wow, so cool. Holy moly. Look at all this stuff it comes with. Wow, no way. Log out of other. Whoa, this is awesome. This is so cool. Holy smokes, this is so powerful. Like, I did nothing except for install stuff and configure things. This is so cool. All right, so let's see. So I'm jumping back over to here. We've got, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. During installation, Jetstream is going to publish a variety of views when you're live. Okay, so they're going to be published to resources views directory. When using Inertia, pages will be published under resource.js pages. These views and pages contain every feature supported by Jetstream, and you're free to customize them as you need. Okay, so the thing that I was like thinking about doing was trying to add Cashier, right? So let's find the Cashier docs and go through this, because we want to like basically, yeah, we want to set up Stripe billing with Cashier. So we install Cashier, and then we're going to migrate that, which is going to make a bunch of stuff for us. If you need to overwrite the migrations that ship with Cashier, you can do this with vendor publish Cashier migrations. Okay, we don't need to change any of them, but we do want to run them. So as soon as we're up and running, billable model, before using Cashier, add the billable trait to your model definition. This trait provides various things. Cool. All right. So we're waiting for these dependencies to install. Yeah. What? Out of memory? What in the world? How is this? Am I out of memory? What's going on here? No. Maybe I'm out of like. Maybe I need to close Chrome or something. Let's see. Also, a fun story. I went to this like GraphQL workshop many years ago. I think I talked about this in the last stream actually, but I found all these really cool stickers. All right, fatal memory, allowed memory, blah, bytes exhausted, tried to allocate blah in far local, okay, composer solver. What the heck is going on here? Is this because of composer? Loading composer repository, okay, updating dependencies, including required dev. Allowed memory exhausted. That's kind of wild. What's going on here? To get the current memory limit, do that thing. Increasing it, go to your php.ini. Wow. Okay. I mean, maybe I should try that. I think that says like give it unlimited memory. I don't know. We're gonna give it a whirl. Composer memory limit equals -1. So hopefully it doesn't crash everything, crash the stream. Yeah. Fun times. Yeah, so I went to this GraphQL conference with Eve Porcello and Alex Banks from Moon Tahoe. So I live in Northern Nevada, and it was like pretty. I'm like about an hour from Squaw Valley. Which is changing its name because it's. But yeah, so we had a conference there, like at the ski resort, and then folks went skiing like in the middle of the day during lunch, and then we came back. It was pretty fun. And also learning about GraphQL is super cool. GraphQL is awesome. I love it. All right, so I think we've got Cashier installed. Now we need to migrate it because this is going to add some fields to our database, like the customer column. So if we just like take a look at the customer columns that it made, customer columns, it's going to add a Stripe ID to the users table, card brand, card last four, trial ends at. This is perfect. This stuff is great. Was adding these columns to the users table because when we are working with subscriptions, we always want to store the ID of the Stripe customer on either the users table or like the teams table, like wherever that kind of like payer object or concept lives within your system. All right, so now we need to update the billable model. So I think we should have like a user model somewhere. Yep, okay. And then we just like add this trait, I think. And then Cashier assumes your billable model is app users model. You can change it with this thing. Sure, I'm just like following the normal stuff. Stripe key, Stripe secret to your .env file. Sure. Stripe. I'm going to copy these. Stripe key and Stripe secret. You will not see the whole secret, so that's okay. Thank you for making those longer. All right, Cashier currency. So we can set it to USD. Oh, it's USD by default. Thanks. Dries. Cashier currency locale. Logging allows you to log. You can specify the logger. Okay, yeah, whatever. Okay, retrieving customers. Creating customers. Occasionally, you may want to create a Stripe customer without beginning a subscription. You can do this way. Updating billing portal. Oh, nice. Very cool. Billing portal. That's awesome. Easy way to set up a billing portal. Sweet. So there's the customer portal. allows you to just use a Stripe hosted surface for managing all of your billing, which takes away like a ton of work. Hey, Colin, what's up? What's up? Oh, look at that. I can show. That's cool. Yeah. So is that Pikachu wave? I think it's a Pikachu wave. All right. So what do we want to do? We've gotten started, right? We've got Cashier installed. We've got our billable model. So now what do we, like, what's the next step? Payment methods for single charges. Okay, let's start over here. So we've got installation configuration, customers, trials, single charges, invoices. So do I have to like build the interface for creating this? I don't know. Also, do I need to like restart the server every time I'm making changes? Trait app models billable is not found. I totally just like yellowed that. All right, we got to like pull this in. User.php, use that thing. All right, now are we no longer crashing? PHP artisan serve. All right, pull this thing back up and we go to our dashboard. Since we are logged in already, let's log out and then register again. Jenny2, JE2 at example.com, password. All right, now what I'm curious about is if when I click register, if it's going to create a Stripe customer for me or if I need to like set that up myself. So what I can do now is we have the SQLite database and I can say like like select star from users now, I think. Okay. And JE2 is here, but does not have a Stripe ID. Okay. Dot headers on. Select again, and we've got our Stripe ID is like pretty far at the end, but it's not. It did not create the Stripe ID. So what do I have to do in order to get this working? Logging, okay, customers, retrieving, creating. Occasionally you may want to, okay. So basically what I'm not sure about is the best practice for when you should create these. Like, do we need to tie into that registration flow somehow with Inertia? Or can we sort of just depend on some other fancy magic stuff? My guess is no. My guess is we have to like build this payment flow somehow, right? Okay. So creating subscriptions, quantities, coupons, adding subscriptions, checking the subscription status. Okay. So here's what I want to do. I think Cashier is just giving us the fluent interface for interacting with the PHP Stripe client library, but is not necessarily like building views for us, right? Like it's not, it doesn't give us like payment pages and things like that, right? Okay, you can use the Stripe CLI to test webhooks during local development. Stripe can notify your application by default a route that points to Cashier's webhook controller. Okay. All right. So by default, Cashier's webhook controller listens to Stripe webhook. And the full list of webhooks you should listen to are here. Now, make sure you protect incoming webhooks with the webhook signature verification middleware, webhooks and CSRF. So where is this? Is that like a file? No. Webhook controller, defining webhook event handlers. So I think that we do need to like set this stuff up. Routes. No. Routes for the web, right? All right. So we don't have any webhook controller or anything. So let's build this out. Is there like, how do you make is there like a fancy way to make a controller? So Laravel make controller. Use get to see my crazy attempt at like finding information. PHP artisan. Okay, perfect. PHP artisan make controller. What does dash dash resource do? Dash dash resource. Specifying the resource model. If you're using a model binding, you want to use it. Okay, so we're probably not, right? PHP artisan make controller webhook controller. Is it usually plural in Laravel? I don't know. All right, so whatever we've got. Let's say we've got our webhook controller, and it is going to have extends cashier controller. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Extends cashier controller. And then we're going to say handle invoice payment succeeded. And cool. Okay. Handle the event. And then if we say, okay, and then in our routes web file, we can add the route like this. Right? Stripe webhook, and that seems legit. All right. Handle webhook. Stripe webhook, handle webhook. We don't really have that method. I'm assuming that's part of the cashier webhooks controller. Emits a webhook received and webhook handled events. Cool. Yeah, so that's the other thing that is really cool about Laravel, right? Is that it emits these events. And so what's not clear to me is where you should tie into those. So, okay. So I'm going to take a step like way back. What I want to do is when we register, when we go through that registration process, I want to create a Stripe customer and store their ID in the Stripe ID column on the users table. And I don't necessarily see any of that here. So we're going to like walk through the entire process for how to do that. So the very first thing I need to do is figure out like, how do you tie into this Jetstream registration flow? And like, at what point would you even do that? Right. Like the other thing is that I kind of want to add a form element to that flow that will put a Stripe element on the page. And then when the form is submitted, I want to stop propagation of the form submit event. I want to send an AJAX request to the server to create the customer. Ooh, that's fancy or tricky. How do we want to do this? Yeah, because if we create the Stripe customer, then that might be before we even have the user. So we can't create the customer until after we have the user. All right, so what do we want to do? Do we want to use a setup intent? I'm kind of wondering if we want to use a setup intent, and then once we have confirmed the setup intent, if we can attach it to a customer, then confirm a setup intent. That should yield a payment method ID. But I can't remember if you can do this, after. All right. So, how do we want to do this? All right. So I think that, all right. So when the form is submitted, let's create the user, and then let's create the Stripe customer, and let's create the subscription in an incomplete state. But then we've already got a customer, right? And so there's not like a great way to fall back. Okay. So how does this work? Jetstream. Yeah, because I almost want to like add to the page, to this like profile page, the settings for updating your default payment method and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so how would we even know what price or plan level they wanted? Hard to say. All right, so what are we gonna do? All right, so let's take a look at how this all fits together. We need to try to find all this and all the inertia stuff here. So where are these inertia views? So app view database, node modules, public, JS. Okay, that's probably not it. All right, so installation. So we installed it already. What is the structure? So under resources, views, authentication, register blade. Okay, so here's our registration form. And it's using all these X attribute things. I'm wondering if that are those part of Jetstream? I'm guessing so. X jet, whatever, X slot, whatever. Okay, so this is what's happening. We're doing a post request to the register route, and that post request is sending on all of this stuff. So where is my registration route? So these are your views. When we hit pages, it's going to be okay. Yeah, what is the route for that? So if we go back to routes for the web, route API, what is route API? Sanctum get user, auth sanctum, verified, dashboard. Okay, so this is for like the logged in thing, right? Console, channels. Okay. All right, so how does this even work, right? Like, where is this view coming from? So when we go, if we go to localhost 8000 and we click on register, this form is going to post like full post, right? Server side post to /register. But I don't see a /register here. There's no like route for this, right? So is that because it's like built into the like this library, this Inertia or the Jetstream library? And if so, like how do you mess around with it? Register. Yeah, it doesn't even like show you. Application logo, authentication, introduction, fortify. What is fortify? Config, fortify. Okay, so here we go. Config fortify is added. Within that config, you can customize aspects of the Fortify's behavior. Fortify login view and register view. Okay, so where are those? Fortify. Okay, guard, web, passwords, users, username, email, home, middleware, limiters, features. Cool, sure. But then how do you create new user? Will be invoked when the user registers within your application. This action is responsible for validating the input and creating the user. Therefore, any customization to which application logic should be made in this class. But I want to do something before that. Customizing user authentication. I don't want to customize authentication. I want to customize registration. So what is the way to do that? Maybe there's like a different thing that we should be doing. Like when the user, yeah, let's do that. So when someone registers, create new user. Let's see, create new user. So when they register, Validate the newly registered user, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so is this where we should be creating the Stripe customer, I wonder? Or should we be creating it like on some event that is raised that is the result of creating a new user? Yeah. So receives an array of input that contains the input from the incoming request. So how do we want to do this? The reason why I'm like waffling is that if the subscription has a trial, then we could set it up with a setup intent and have the form input on the client, which confirms the card details and saves the payment method on the customer. However, if we're setting it up without a trial, we need to take payment right now and deal with SCA right now to confirm the card payment, which is a little bit trickier when we don't have access necessarily here to handle that. So what to do? Let's say, yeah, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we create the new user, we create a Stripe customer, we stick it in the database with this create new user action. And then when you look at the dashboard, you can see basically nothing until you have paid, in which case we can present a paywall, and that paywall will have you select a price, and it will then create the subscription, and we can handle like setting up all the stuff after we've like created the customer. All right, so here where we're saying user create, I have a feeling we can say something like Stripe ID is some like customer ID, and we need to create that customer. And Cashier provides a fluent interface for creating customers, I believe. User create as Stripe customer. Occasionally, you may want to create a customer without beginning a subscription. You can do this way. Once they've been created in Stripe, you may begin a subscription at a later date. So user create as Stripe customer. All right, so let's do that. Let's say this is a $1 user. And then we want to say user, what is it called? Create as Stripe customer. And yeah, I don't know. Let's give it a whirl. So let's restart the server. I don't know if we need to restart every time. Probably not, but whatever. Okay, so jr3 at example.com. I really like the font they're using here. I don't know what that is, but it's a nice, like, easy to read, friendly font. Oh, that's the wrong thing. jr. Password, register. This should be hitting the Stripe API, and we should now have a customer ID. Boom, look at that. Sweet. Okay, so now every time we register, we're creating a customer. So that is totally working as expected, and that's super cool. So then what do we want to do now? Now we want to change this page to welcome to your Jetstream application. From this to you can't see anything until you have paid. So let's see, how do we do that? All right, so we want to create some sort of page that is like the pricing page, right? So let's create a new controller. PHP artisan make. Okay. PHP artisan make. Does that let me see PHP artisan? Can I see like all the possible things? Okay, nice. PHP artisan make controller. And the name of this controller is going to be billing, I think, controller. And in here, we're going to add some stuff, but we need a web.php. We need to add a route to it. Route get to something. How do we do routes again in Laravel? Let's see. The basics, request lifecycle, getting started. No, wrong view. Routing. Here we go. Okay. So URI and callback. Right. So we want to do something like this, right? So billing controller and billing controller index, sure, slash billing. All right, so can I just go to localhost 8000 slash billing? Does that work? All right, so the index method doesn't exist. That is correct. And how do I define the index method? Let's see. So we've got our controller. Controllers. There we go. Let's see. Let's learn about controllers. Function. I'm sure it's probably like function index. And then here it's probably like billing.index. And then I don't think we have anything to pass. And then I probably need to add like a view under something. Let's see. All right, cool. So passed in too few arguments into index. All right, so what does index take? Oh, it doesn't take an ID. Billing.index view is not found. Cool. So how do I make views? Great. Okay, views. Here we go. There's probably like a make view thing, right? PHP artisan make view. PHP artisan view cache and view clear. No make view. All right. So creating views. We want to create a view. It's stored in resources views. Resources views. And I think I need billing reading.blade. So I think I want to make like billing, and then in here, index.blade.php. Hi. And hey, look at that. Cool. All right. So we are cooking with gas. I have no idea if this actually is like doing any inertia stuff. Like, how do you actually do inertia thingies? Inertia demo app. Is inertia just for? No, it's totally not. It is. It's got like all this really cool stuff. I just don't know how or where it fits in, right? So who it's for: client side, server side, routing, pages. So if we wanted to make like a React view, maybe whatever. Let's just like save that for another day. All right, so we want to add pricing here. So let's say like this is prices. Also, like, do I need to inherit from a parent thing? Like, how do I make it use the layouts? Service provider layout. Is that a thing? Okay, so how do I use a view with a layout? Service provider boot. Anybody know? Anybody at all? Okay, composer stuff, view creators, optimizing views. All right, so none of that stuff seems to help. Laravel view layout. Actually, it's probably part of, what is this? probably part of Jetstream documentation, Tailwind. Okay, so Jetstream dashboard. Okay, where is this? Okay, so we've got, here we go, views. All right. Are these all just auth? Is Jetstream just auth? Let's see, introduction. Beautifully designed application scaffolding for Laravel, provides perfect starting point. Cool, but then like, how do I add Blade? Livewire plus Blade, Inertia JS plus Vue. So we used Inertia. The Inertia JS stack provided by Jetstream uses Vue. Has this templating engine. Building Inertia application is a lot like building a typical Vue. However, you'll use Laravel's router instead of a Vue router. Inertia is a small library. Okay, so cool. Like, how do we actually use Inertia though? Inertia link, header, main, function layout, persist the layouts. How it works. Like, I don't care how it works. I want to know how to like make it, how to make my own page, right? Like with Laravel plus Inertia. I think there's just like too many layers here. I'm getting lost. So I'm just going to say prices. I'm just going to work on setting up the actual payment stuff. So what do we want to do here? We want to like render the list of prices, and from the billing controller, I can fetch the list of prices from Stripe using it's like, yeah, Stripe price list, and then I can pass in lookup keys as an array. And I think I need to use Stripe maybe. And then I want to pass these as like prices. And then can I do stuff with them now on the client? Blade render variables in Blade template. Wow, we're 53 minutes in and we haven't like actually done anything. Sorry. Sorry, folks. Section yield. Okay, how do I print out variables that are passed in to the parent? Okay, this seems legit. See if that works. And call to undefined method Stripe price list. So I can't remember if I need a composer install Stripe PHP directly. It's like a dependency of the dependency of Cashier, but seems like it's not installed, like it's not available by default, I think maybe. Let's see if this fixes it. Oh, you know what? I probably also need to set my, where to set Stripe API key, Laravel. There's like, so with Rails, there are initializers which run at like when the app is starting up. The app service provider. Okay, so it seems like that might be a good spot. App service provider, when we register, what do we want to do? We want to set the Stripe API key. Yep. And I think I might need to say like slash stripe, something like that. Maybe. Okay. So hopefully that's like setting the API key. Slash billing. Call to undefined method Stripe price list. Yeah. Billing controller. Is it not list? Is it all? Maybe. There it is. Cool. So we've got some data back. That looks cool. So we're just going to like iterate over this list and then print out the prices and their IDs and their currencies and stuff like that. So, okay. So iterate over variable over list in blade template. Okay. We're figuring all this PHP stuff out in no time. Right? In no time. Okay, for each thingy as key value. All right, so let's see. Database index. Nope. Billing index. Cool. For each price in prices data as key value. So it's not a key value thing. It's a list. I guess everything's key value in okay, key value. So can I just do like as price? Let's see. Much better. Cool. All right. So for each thing in this list, we have a list of prices. So we're going to say something like select a price or something like select a plan. Select a plan. Right. And then for each of these items, we want a pricing page. Ooh, Tailwind CSS pricing page. Wait, I don't have Tailwind, whatever. Let's see. So in here, I need to disconnect. Okay. So in here, what I want to do is just add a button. And when you click on the button, that selects the price for you, creates a subscription. And it's at that plan level. And then on the next page, we will enter some payment details. So let's make this, let's use a Laravel form. How do we do forms? Forms. Form. Nope, no forms. CSRF protection. Here we go. Form. So for each price, we'll create a separate form, and we'll say billing subscribe or something. And on the form, it's just going to have a input type of hidden, and the value is going to be the price ID. And the like above the price, we'll just we'll put the unit amount divided by 100. Can I do that? And the currency and the recurring interval. Let's see. How does that look? 5 USD. Okay, and then this needs a button. Select. Okay, so if we select $5 a month, it should do a post request to billing/subscribe, routes for the web, and we come down here, route to post/billing/subscribe, and that is going to hit the subscribe method on the billing controller. And this one is going to have some data that I have no idea how you get at the data. So we're going to have to play around with that a little bit. And what this should do is it should create subscription and then redirect to maybe billing/pay, which you can make as a get route. All right, so we want to say Stripe. There's probably a Fluent interface for this too inside of Cashier. So let's take a look at Cashier. Where is it? Laravel Cashier. All right, I've got too many tabs open here. We're learning. This is what happens when I'm learning stuff is I open a billion tabs. So Cashier, Laravel website, boom, boom. Creating subscriptions. How do we do it? We say user.find. So we find the current user, and then we pass in, we call new subscription, and we pass in some stuff. What is this method actually taking? Default price monthly. If you want to make a specific quantity for the plan, you can pass quantity, create with the payment method. So this is where Cashier, so Cashier is not going to necessarily support this new flow where we are creating the subscription in the default incomplete state. So I think I'm going to need to pass in some extra fancy stuff. And I'm not sure how this works. Subscription, new subscription. Okay, so new, no. Where is this thing defined? New subscription. It is defined here. Manages subscription, new subscription, takes in the name and the plans, the list of plans, and it initializes a new instance of subscription builder. Okay. Which is going to take in a name, the name of the subscription. Okay, so we're constructing it with the owner, the name, and the plans. This dot plan, the plan. Okay, so this is a little old school too because it's using plan instead of price. That's all good. I think I'm gonna. I think I might bail on this bit because this dot owner dot subscriptions dot create, and you pass in all this business. Yeah. Oh, this is creating the subscription in the database. Ooh, okay. Huh. So how do we do this? How do we do this? All right. So the plan, I think I can pass in, instead of passing in plan, I want to pass in price, but I think I can pass the price ID just fine. And that should work interchangeably, I believe, with the price. And then I don't have any tax rates. All right, so we construct it with plans. For each array of plans, this dot plan. So we're calling plan, and that sets this item's a plan. Okay, so so what do we want to do here? I need to get at the access currently logged in user Laravel. It's incredible how hot this Contigo cup keeps the tea. Even though it's been an hour since I poured this thing. So auth user. Okay. You may use that, or you can use this, or you can use this. There's a whole bunch of ways to do it. Cool. This one seems fine, right? Auth user. Let's try this out. So if we do that, and then we say something like user new subscription, and for that, user equals auth user, maybe. Default subscription, and then the price here, instead of just price, premium, we want to pass in the actual price ID from the client. So how do I get at those request parameters? Then we're going to redirect. All right, so redirect. I think I saw this in routing. Redirect Laravel controller. How do we do this? Return redirect to, okay, cool. All right, so from the controllers page, can we figure out how to access post request data? Params, controller middleware, defining single action controllers. Invoke. Oh, interesting. Show profile. Cool. That's neat. But this is not a single action controller. This is a controller that takes in post data. Is it going to show me how to access the post data? Parameters, scoping resources, localizing, supplementing, dependency injection. Is this how we get at the post data? Method injection. Okay. Cool. So let's see if this works for us. Okay. So can I just say like dollar request to price ID? Is that going to work? Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Refresh the page. Okay, let's just double check our form here. Has our hidden price ID. It does. So this, when I click this button, it's going to make a post request to billing/subscribe. And we're going to have to take a look at the network to see what's going on. So 500 error, yippee, undefined variable payment method in the file, billing controller. So, yeah, this isn't a thing. So can I do it without calling that? Like, new subscription, create. Does it always want a payment method? I don't have a payment method yet. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna do this like the manual way without Cashier because oh wow. Okay. So I'm gonna do like a mix. We need to create a subscription. So we're gonna say subscription is equal to Stripe subscription create. I think this is right. And what do we want to pass in? We want to pass in the customer, which we can get off of the user's Stripe customer ID. We want to pass in items. Which is going to have a price, and that points at this request price ID. We want to pass in payment behavior, default incomplete. And this is a beta feature. This is the feature that's in beta. If you want to access the beta, let me know. We can hook it up. But for now, actually, we might have enough folks in the beta already that we don't necessarily need new beta testers. But let's see. All right. So from Cashier, how do I get the Stripe customer ID off of the user? So we have retrieving customers. So find billable. with that Stripe ID. We've got the customer. I just want to know. Oh, interesting. You may use this to return the customer object if it's already billable. Can I just do like dot Stripe ID? That work, like user Stripe ID? Is that? No way. I'm not sure that'll work, but let's just try it out. Refresh, click on the button. Hey, we're redirected. All right, so let's go to our Stripe account and take a look at let's take a look at our logs. So we've got our logs here. So we did create a subscription and we did get the customer ID and the price. Wow, so cool. That is epic. That is awesome. It is in the incomplete status. Holy moly. That's cool. All right, but now what's missing is that we're not actually storing it in the database because that's part of Cashier's business here, where it says this.owner.subscriptions create, and then it passes in all this stuff, which, yeah, we need. So I think what I want to do is, before we get too far, is set up a Stripe listener. Stripe listen forward to localhost 8000 Stripe webhook, right? Because that's where our webhook controller is being hit. Because I think there might be some provisioning stuff that's happening by Cashier. So I don't think we have to do everything necessarily, but let's go back over here to billing. This is just going to keep creating more subscriptions for this same user, but I think that's all right. And then let's see what, okay, cool. We're getting 500 errors. That's cool, right? Super cool. Not really. How do I increase the log level so that I see more? Or is there like a way to see, yep, how to view Laravel server logs. Logging, cool. Where are logs located? That's probably the answer, right? Laravel.log. You can add app debug true to the env file. That's there. Storage logs folder. At storage logs Laravel.log. All right, cool. All right, so what errors are happening when we're receiving these post requests to the webhook handler? Super hard to read this. Tail-f storage logs stuff. Terrible. Okay, so all right, what I'm going to do is retry one of these events. So customer created, right? So I'm going to copy that and say Stripe events resend and pass in that ID, which should refire that single event. And then I can see the log just for that event. And it is a lot. Syntax error, unexpected class, expecting semicolon or something else. Cool. So that's super helpful. So expecting class. Oh, this is probably missing a semicolon. Yeah, seems legit. Let's try again. Clear that out, resend the event one more time. Look at our logs. And our event fired 419, getting warmer. That is not an error. Well, it is. It's not a 500, but it's not super cool. So it is whatever. It is whatever. All right, so what's happening here? I'm forgetting what we were doing. We are creating a new plan. We're creating a subscription. It's incomplete. We're redirecting to the pay page. On the pay page, when we redirect there, I'm kind of wondering if instead we want to render a view. Actually, no. We need to store this thing in the database, right? So what billing controller. So we were not storing anything in the database. We're creating the subscription in Stripe, but we're not creating the subscription in Laravel. So we need to figure out what's up with that. So we were looking at this code. This code is doing all this stuff. Let's do all the same stuff. So this owner subscriptions, this owner, is that just the billable thing? This owner. I think it is. Okay. Customer is this owner get create or get Stripe customer. Yeah, that seems like something that would be on a billable. So I'm going to assume this is user. And that this will just magically work. And I'm going to rename this to Stripe subscription to match what's going on down here. Stripe plan. Sure. I mean, those are a little whack because we actually want like the price, but I can't remember if the price is on the thing or where that's at. So, okay. And then do we want to render a view? I think we do want to render a view because the next step here is that we want to confirm the payment intent client side. Latest invoice.payment intent. So when we create the subscription and when it comes back, it should be expanding the latest invoices payment intent. Then we're going to pass that to the client side and use that to confirm the payment on the client side. So instead of redirecting to billing here, what I'm going to do is add a new view under, I guess it's under resources, views, billing, and it's going to be called subscribe.blade.php. And here I'm going to copy this thing and I'm going to put this here, billing.subscribe, and we want the client secret. So I'm going to pass that here, which is going to be under Stripe subscription, latest invoice, payment intent, client secret. And that should be passed to the view. So in the view right now, I'm just going to render out client secret just so we can see what's up and make sure that that is like getting printed out. All right, so we click select. Undefined property name. Yeah, I probably didn't get all the right stuff here. All right, so there is no name. There is no name. And there is no trial ends at, and there is no ends at. I'm just going to delete those. It's whatever. Again, billing, select a plan. It creates a subscription. Boom, that is the client secret that we want. Sick. Okay, very cool. All right, so now we need to pass this client secret okay, we need another form. The form is going to collect, it's going to collect credit card details and then confirm those with this payment intent. So on our subscribe page, which is here, we need to have a form, which is going to be similar to this bad boy. And what the form is going to do is it will have a spot for the, in fact, do we, yeah, okay. So we need, yeah, how do we want to do that? Cool. So div card element. All right, so I'm going to create a div here for the card input element, and then I'm just going to say pay. And oh gosh, how does JavaScript work? Is this just like available everywhere or what's up? Okay, so I probably need to add, like, make an ID for this. Payment form, and when the payment form is submitted, actually, I'm just gonna do it inline. YOLO. Oh, but it probably is initializing Stripe somewhere. Bootstrap, Stripe. Okay. Oh, nice. They've got Axios. That's cool. All right. So do they have Stripe? Like, can I just look? Stripe. Stripe is not defined. Okay. So we need to install Stripe.js. We also need to install our publishable key. I don't know if I can use the one from the environment variables. Like, I would prefer to do something like, oh gosh, what? Yeah. So application. What was the thing that we modified earlier? Let's see. Application something. Key application. Oh gosh, where are we initializing? Set API key. Wherever that's happening. Yeah. Okay. So env, we can just use env then, and then what did we? Stripe key. So stripe key. We want to do env with stripe key. Subscribe.blade, and I think we might be able to just do like env stripe key here. Maybe. Let's see. So I refresh the page, and what I'm curious about is whether or not this actually initialized an instance of Stripe with my publishable key. Totally did. That's awesome. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is register elements and set up that card thing. And then before the form is submitted, we want to capture that payment form. And we want to prevent the default because we need to make we need to make a request to Stripe first. So what I want to do here is I want to take that payment intent or the client secret from that payment intent and confirm it, which will confirm or will like activate our subscription. And then after the subscription is activated, I want to pass that payment intent's new payment method that we're creating back to the server so that we can set it as the default on the customer or on the Stripe customer object. So what I want to do here is say stripe.confirm card payment and pass in this client secret here. And then I'm going to pass in payment method and card, I believe, card element. And maybe, yeah, that's probably good. Then when we get a successful response from confirming the card payment, what we can do actually is just like set the value for the payment method into this form, which looks like what? Input hidden, the ID is like payment, or maybe the name is payment. method, and the value is going to be nothing initially. And after we've successfully done this business, we want to set the value of that thing. Payment method input, payment method, payment method input dot value is equal to resp dot payment intent dot payment method. All right, and then we do want to submit the form. Finally, so we do want to say like payment form dot submit. Okay. All right. So let's so walking through this, we're initializing an instance of elements that's going to register that input control so that we can type in card elements like credit card details, expiration, CVC, etc. Then we are grabbing reference to the form, to this HTML form. And when the form is submitted, we're preventing the default so that it's not sending a post request to billing/subscribe. In fact, we need to change that route to pay. It's not sending the post request to pay. Instead, it's going to first make the request to confirm the card payment. And this is going to create the payment method and confirm the payment intent, and then charge the customer for the first month of the subscription. And then when this promise resolves, it will pass in this response object, which has a payment intent thing on it. And that payment intent will have a payment method, which is the string ID for the new payment method that we just created. And we want to use that and set that on this hidden input so that when we submit the form, when we ultimately submit the form and make this post request back to billing/pay, that we're including that payment method ID so that in our billing controller on this public function pay method, we can set default payment method on customer. So what does that look like? That looks like something like this. There might be actually methods here for doing that. Set our default, updating the default payment method. Cool. Update default payment method. Nice. Cool. So I think I might be able to just do this. And then what do we want to do? After that, I think I just want to like print stuff out. I don't know. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Oh, we need to add that to our routes too. All right, the tea is finally cool enough that I can actually drink it. Okay, so we are 1 hour 30 into this beast, and look at that. Okay, a test card number, and I click pay, and cannot set value of null. Oh, you know what? I didn't put an ID on here. I put a name. ID is payment method, right? Payment dash method. Refresh the page. Enter our card number again. Click pay. I should be walking through this. Undefined variable payment method. Hey, but it got like pretty far, right? Let's see if in our logs we have a oh, look at that. We confirmed the payment intent for $5. Succeeded. Holy smokes. All right. So we successfully created, oh, this is a really nice, very nice. Okay. Very nice little debug interface, Laravel. Very nice. So this should be request payment method, right? And then we come back over here, refresh this page, and it just magically works. Yay. Okay, did that actually work? Hey, holy moly, look at that. We updated our customer and we have this invoice settings default payment method. Yes. So now we need to confirm also that, that this got stuck in the database. So let's go play around with our database a little bit. SQLite, select star from subscriptions. Okay. And they're all showing as incomplete because I think we need to like wire up our customer.subscription.updated webhook event so that when we finally activate the subscription, that event fires, we're updating the status of the subscription in our database. But we are creating subscriptions and GU. So this is the subscription we just created, right? So that's super cool. And it has the price object related to the price that we're talking about. So I think that's like working, right? It's like, I mean, I think folks could figure out how to build on top of that. So that's, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. And we're running like a bit longer than I expected, but yeah, so let's see. Let's just look really quickly and see if we can figure out the cashier webhook situation, because this customer subscription updated event is indeed one that we care about and want. Oh, I wonder if that, ooh, yeah, I bet. Okay, hold on a sec. This 419, is that because of CSRF? Doesn't just know if I'm searching the number 419 that I'm talking about a status code. Page expired, Laravel framework. Okay, interesting that Laravel is called out explicitly there. 419 page expired. Yeah, used by Laravel when CSRF token is missing. Sick. Okay, perfect. Thank you for picking. That's cool. Yeah, we should make that a standard because CSRF missing token is sometimes confusing if it just throws like a normal 400 or 500 even. I've also seen it just throw like a not authorized, which is super annoying. But okay, so how do we disable CSRF? I see this, but I don't see how we actually change this. So where do we put this? Middleware app, HTTP middleware, verify CSRF token. I didn't, let's see. Oh, okay. The last time I searched for this, I didn't find it. That was weird. All right, so that explains it. So we want to drop in accept stripe/star. I don't know. Seems legit. And I probably need to like restart the server, right? There's no way this is just going to work. Whoa, nice. Okay, I'm really impressed with how little you have to restart. With how few things you need to do to restart the server. All right, so customer.updated, customer.subscription.updated. This is the one that I think we care about. So let's resend that bad boy and see. Nope, that's not the one. All right, let's just go through the entire flow again. So we're here. We're going to /billing. We're selecting the $14 a month price. We're entering a card number. Let's do a SCA test card too, just so I can show you like the whole reason we need to do all this business is so that we can do this one-time 3D secure challenge, right? So without secure customer authentication and without 3D secure, payments is much easier. However, 3D secure and SCA are required in the EEA, or the European Economic Area. So we have to support it. We just have to. And so we want to make sure that all of our flows are SCA ready. And this one is indeed. So I'm going to click complete authentication, which should bring us to the Yay page. We got to the Yay page. Now let's see if our events are firing. Cool. So we got the customer subscription updated event, and I want to just see like events retrieve that event, and the status. Oh, previous attributes status was incomplete. The status is now active. So this event in particular, I think we want to listen for and make sure that we are updating the status in our database, because, oh, look at that. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Awesome, awesome, awesome sauce. Okay, so replaying that event did fix the previous subscription. It tripped me up because I was looking at the previous attributes, but not seeing the status, the correct status. So it is updating to active. That is super cool, and that is what we want. That's what we expect. I'm going to leave it there, and bid you adieu. So, yes. Thank you for watching. Thanks again for your time and attention. Hopefully you got something out of that. I am really pumped about Laravel, and I want to use it for more stuff and want to experiment more. Hopefully we can build in support for this new subscription flow, which does not require a payment method up front. It starts the subscription in a default incomplete state. It means it's like, you can have a subscription before you have the payment method. And what's nice about that is you can create the subscription and then deal with payment details later. This also unlocks some new payment methods. So not just cards, but in the future, we'll be able to support other types of payment methods, which is super exciting. So yeah. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks again for your time and attention. And I will, I'll see you later. All right. Bye, friends.